everyone, this is Eric. I'm the past president of Rotaract Taipei, and in this year, we're going to start our new activity, which is the podcast. We're thinking about trying to influence more people, trying to invite more new talents, young talents to share about their insight of their life and their industry. And today, for our very first episode, we're very honored to have our member, Edward, who has working in Japan before, to share the insight about how to find a job. I mean, how to survive in Japan. Okay, let's give a big applause for Edward.
Hi everyone.
Hello, Edward. Hey, so this is our first episode. So are you feel excited?
Yeah, exciting and a bit nervous.
So
I'm
don't
not
worry.
I'm not get used to let the people see my face and online.
Okay, I don't think so. I mean, people always for Rotaract, we're famous for we have a lot of handsome guys, and Edward, he's probably the best one. Okay, so Edward, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Like, what is your background?
I think because today we are going to talk about my 2 years life in Japan, so maybe I just give a brief intro about what have been experienced in my career. So I graduated from the master around 5 years ago, and since then I joined a French company and experienced several positions such as like business developer, market analyst, and financial analyst, and now as the project engineer.
Okay,
And
project engineer. Very interesting.
yeah, so you can see it's the totally different
About the
job and
characters.
yeah, different character, and it's quite have the quite big difference. So like from the financial monitor to build the new factory for our company.
Yes. So, like, how does your company inform you that, hey, Edward, actually, we got a job in Japan. Do you want to go? How do you know the news?
I think I got the chance of the interview around 3 or 4 months before I'm about to leave the Taiwan.
Yes.
And so when I got the result it's around like 3 months before I have to head to Japan.
Okay, so here's my question. Like, did your manager told you, hey, Edward, we actually have a job overseas. Do you want to apply? Do you want to give a try?
Yes, it's like the similar situation.
Okay, so you need to compete. So I think you have other candidates, right? You have another competitors.
Supposed to be because we interview individually, so we don't know who else is also on the having the interview as well.
Okay, so what do you think? What makes you could get this opportunity? Because obviously, to behave as a company overseas is quite important. It's a very important task, in my opinion. What do you think you can earn this opportunity? Because appearance.
It's hard to say, but I think I did one thing might at some point to let me get the chance to go to Japan. Is that after I finished the interview and I know myself I really want to go to Japan to work. So I sent the email and to summarize again why I suit for this position.
Okay, so
So what
you
can
have sent
I?
the email again.
Yeah, I sent an email again and to emphasize like how can I combine out my strength with the position and make the contribution to the company.
Okay, so I think this is really important. Even though you have overthrow your interview, still write an email to those interviewers, talking with them like, what is my pros and cons, why I'm the best candidate in this project.
Yes, I think it could have some help because usually when the interviewer have the several interviews, so we have to think about how can impress the interviewer the most.
Okay, so here comes another question about, well, okay, there's opportunity in Japan. what's up in your mind? I mean, some of the people obviously they want to have more opportunity overseas, right? But on the other hand, talking about moving from your house, your home, your comfort zone seems difficulty. What's in your mindset? What's your mindset at that time?
I have to say, I knew quite well I have to lose the contact with most of my good friends in Taiwan and to change the totally unknown environment.
Yes. Yes.
But I remember at the time I have the feeling more about look forward to visit Japan and to start the new chapter there.
Nice.
Yeah, I think maybe it's because I'm still young and I personally like to explore the world. So I think that it would be the good chance to know more about the Japan in terms of their culture, in terms of the people. As you know that so many people like to travel in Japan, but I have to say to travel in Japan and to live in Japan is totally different.
Okay, there are two stories. They are totally different two things.
Yes. So I think I heard about that before I went to Japan. So out of the curiosity, I really want to know. So what's the difference in between, and which made me feel more exciting about to go there.
Okay, nice. So after you have been to Japan, what kind of difficulties have you met that you ever think that will happen? Out of your surprise, like, oh my God, I didn't know that I need to learn that in Japan.
I think the first thing is that the capability of the Japanese. So sometimes you can read on the internet saying that if your Japanese level is not good or like lower than JLPT level 3, so you will still be able to survive in Japan.
Yes.
And don't worry too much about that. But so I have like expectation at the time. But when I arrived in Japan and my level was like lower than level 3, and because I was starting from zero, seems that I got a notice I have to go to Japan.
Yes.
And I have to say it was quite a difficulty time. So the saying that let's just saying that you can live in Japan if your level is not good, but they didn't mention you were a bit painful.
Okay, now you use the word painful. Use the word painful. Helpless.
Yeah, I have to say helpless.
Okay, so what is your solution for that situation? Where did you find the way to learn Japanese? Is there any NGO organization to help like Taiwanese?
You mean to stay when you go to Japan to find some place to practice Japanese?
Yes. Or someone who can help you.
At the time, because I went to grad school after the work, so this is the way how I practice my Japanese.
Okay.
But I heard that so usually during the weekend, so there's some Japanese volunteer are willing to talk to the foreigner and to have the to exchange the Japanese. But the thing is that so if you are starting from the beginner, you will have much more difficulty because they will not be able to talk to you.
Okay. So when you talk about not be able to talk with you, do you mean that the average level of English of Japanese are not that good compared with Taiwanese?
It is not what I'm trying to imply, but what I would like to say is that so if you have some basic vocabulary and you have some understanding of the alphabet, so it will be easy for you to get into the Japanese word. I mean, if someone have to to teach you from the beginner, right? Also, how to spell the alphabet and how to remember some vocabulary. So step will be quite slow.
Okay, so did you go to looking help for those kind of organization in Japan, or you just go to cram school directly?
I went to grad school directly, and I practiced Japanese in the bar.
In a bar? Okay.
Yeah, I have to say that this is the fast way you can improve your Japanese level.
Okay, it sounds like you push yourself out of your comfort zone, even if you went to Japan.
Yes, you have to. You have to. If you want to practice Japanese, you have to.
Then how do you make new friends in the bar? You just randomly say, "Hello, watashi wa Edo-san desu." Something like that.
Similar, because in a bar, if you want to know new friends, you have to step out. The first one is to talk to them.
Okay. What is your tips to making new friends? Do you go by yourself or you have some friends go with you?
At the beginning of time, so I went to the bar by myself, and afterward I went to the bar with the friends. I have to say, with the friends will be easier.
Will be better.
Yeah, will be better. Yeah, because when you don't have enough vocabulary, and your friend can help you to fit in the conversation.
Okay.
So at a time, you can listen to what they are talking about and trying to add some of the sentence inside step by step, and you can learn Japanese by that. I think like learning English is English speaking will be the same.
Okay, so I want to summarize into 2 points. So if you didn't know how to speak Japanese or you're not familiar with Japanese, after you've been to Japanese, there are 2 ways that you can master it. The first one is go to cram school. The other one, go to the bar and trying to make friends, right?
Yes. I think one of the important thing is that so have to encourage yourself to speak Japanese as much as possible.
Okay, so
And
I
when
think the mindset would be don't be shy, right? Just go to ask them, like, hey, do you want to make friend with me?
Yeah, if you get shy, you'll be dead.
Okay, this is happy to hear the answer. I mean, after you have choose to go out for your comfort zone, then why don't you have more courage to go out a little bit to reach some strangers?
What do you mean? I don't get it.
I mean, if you are for people, if you're choosing to working overseas, and since you choose the path, so you are already at that way. Why don't you step out a little bit, going to making some friends in the bar? Don't be shy, right? I think this is your mindset. Just don't be shy.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you can tell about where did you live? I mean, you live in Tokyo, right?
Yes.
Which area?
I live around Shibuya area, so which the subway is quite convenient.
Okay. Okay, so do they also have the month card that you can use the MRT freely for 1 month, 2 months?
Yes. So usually, if you are working in Japan, and
Yes.
their culture is the company are usually provided the seasonal metro ticket
Oh, okay.
from where you live to the company.
Mm.
So, for example, if your company is in station A and you live in station B, so they will pay you the seasonal ticket for this distance in between.
Okay.
Which means that during the weekend, if you go to this line quite often, so this one will always be free. But if you have to have the transition to another line, and you have to pay for that.
Yes. Okay, so like you mentioned about the MRT system in Japan is pretty convenient. When you have time, it's just like in holiday. Are you going to have an adventure in Tokyo as well? Like going to the place that you never know?
Sometimes, but usually you will go somewhere by purpose. I mean, usually you will check like the places first and to see which station it is and just go there.
Okay, so could you name like 3 the most recommendation district in Japan, in Tokyo, where you was living living in Tokyo and the reason why?
If you are asking about recommendation of the stay in Tokyo,
yes,
I will say it will depends on the depends on what you like. For example, like in a different area of Tokyo, so it have the different atmosphere. For example, like this the area full of the French people.
Okay, so they even have area full of French people.
It doesn't mean that so they limited the French people to live there, but just like because this area is like the French people like this area. I mean, in terms of the feeding, the building, and the restaurant around this area, and when more and more French people just get gathered to live there, so it will more stuff which the French people like will show up.
Very interesting.
So that's why sometimes you can hear that some area is quite famous for the foreigner or European to stay, and some area is famous for Chinese to stay or like to Asian people to stay. So I think it depends on what you like in terms of living.
Okay, so maybe I change my question. Like, which area do you like to visit during the holiday?
It's a bit difficult because it really depends on what you like, what you would like to do. For example, if you would like to drink or have a party, so like several area is quite famous for that. But if you want to go to see some natural stuff and you have to go to the another area, so I think why the Tokyo attracted me is because you have so many things can do, and those things is not so far, but you just need to go this area, so you can find it.
Okay, so what is the most beautiful sense in Japan you ever see before that makes you wow, amazing?
It's a difficult one. You mean in Japan or in Tokyo? Just in Japan?
I think in Tokyo, generally in Tokyo, because our topic is how to survive in Tokyo.
Okay. I have to say it was my first time to see the snow falling from the sky, first time in my life when I was in Tokyo. And I have to say it was quite astonished, beautiful for me because it's just totally new for me. So I can still remember how excited I was when I just saw it.
Yeah, because in Taiwan we couldn't see. It's not very often that we can see snow, real snow.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe let's jump back to the topic. So after you have went to Japan, right? You don't have a house in Japan. How do you find your dormitory?
I have to say to find a dormitory in Tokyo might not be easy, but my cases could be different to most of the people because I was my company helped me a lot to settle down. For example, like I have the agent who can help me to provide the item. So I just select the item and go with them, and he can do the like the translator. He can be the translator for me to understand a lot of stuff.
Okay, so usually if you are working overseas, you're supposed to have an agent to help you to sort this kind of thing, right? In your company.
I would say it depends on the country because like in Taiwan, you usually contact the landlord directly about to rent an apartment. But in Japan, usually you have to go through the agent.
Okay, you need to go through the agent.
And also, like the agent will contact the I think it's kind of the service company. So they help to take care of the apartment or the building.
Okay, so what do we need to notice, beware of when we trying to rent a house in Japan?
First one is that so usually many of the apartment they don't like to rent to the foreigner.
Okay, including Taiwanese. Because I know that
including Taiwanese. I think that the reason is not because which countries you are coming from, is because of the language.
Okay,
If
the
you
language.
have, because if you have some dispute, so it will be so difficult to settle in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed that Edward has emphasized about if you want to live in Japan, you definitely need to know how to speak Japanese. It doesn't like in Taiwan. I mean, if you don't know how to speak Chinese, somehow you can survive in Taiwan.
Yes, and also in the worst scenario, so usually foreigner might not stay long in Japan. So what happened if the person, the person just left Japan suddenly, and
Yes.
the apartment have some damage or something? So I think it will have the big difficult for the Japanese people, the landlord, to deal with that. So I think maybe this is the reason. And therefore, so usually when you want to rent the apartment, so you have someone to be your guarantee. For example, like a company or like someone in Japan, a Japanese can help you to be the Japanese to do the guarantee.
Okay. Okay, so what you mean is if I want to rent a house in Japan, I need to find a guarantee first, and I'm going to find the agent.
Yeah, it's not necessary to have the guarantee. I mean, many cases like that, but still have some apartment they are available for the foreigner. So this is also the reason what I mentioned previous in the early time. So some area is full of the foreigner. It's because this area is more open-minded to rent the apartment to the foreigner.
Okay, so how about the fee? I mean, is that average? What is the average renting fee in Japan? How much you need to spend?
I think that the basic one, the really basic one, you just have the one room and one bathroom and toilet together, and have the small kitchen together, and it's around like how much square meter? I think just a simple room. You need to take around like 20 to 30,000 per month. NTD.
NTD 20. Wow, it's a little bit high in my opinion. 20,000.
Yeah, I'm thinking how to. It's less than shipping.
Okay.
Less than shipping, you have to pay that amount.
Okay.
And also, the one thing like quite surprised the foreigners that when you are going to rent an apartment at the first time, at the first time, you have to pay around 5 months of your rental fee at the first time.
Wow. What do you mean? 5 months? 5 months? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So for
That's
example,
a lot of money.
if you rent the better apartment in Japan, if you spend like 50,000 per month, which means that you have to pay around like 250K NT dollars per at the first time to the landlord.
Yeah, the fence. Wow. Oh, wow.
So this is also the reason why when you settle down in one apartment, usually people don't really move.
Don't move very often.
Yeah, because it will spend a lot of money.
Okay, so I want to ask a question based on the previous one, like because even you say someone helped you to rent the room, right? But you still need to find the room by yourself, right? So where did you find the room?
If you have the agent, so they will give you some item based on your preference.
Did you talk them where I want to live? Because I mean, Tokyo is very big, and you say there's a lot of district there. How do you choose the district you want?
Depends. So you know that. So in Tokyo, if you see the district, you can roughly know how much you have to pay for this area.
Yeah. Okay.
So for example, like if you have the limited budget, so the agent will see how much budget you have, and to see what kind of option they can provide. So if you choose the budget, if you have your budget, you have your preference about the environment, and also you want to select area. So sometimes you will be like no item at the time. Not no items that will have the limited choice.
Okay.
So
did you need to also need to talk with your? I mean, you don't need to talk about your agent. That and what is my ideal traffic time?
Yes, it's quite necessary. For example, like how long you have to spend from your apartment to the office is one of the important factor. And also one thing for Taiwanese, I think one thing is quite important is that so when you start to search your apartment, so have to change your condition. Because for example, like if you think about the size of the apartment in Taiwan, and we want to use the similar price to rent the apartment in Japan, so it would be quite so difficult. So you cannot use the same standard in Taiwan to choose the apartment in Japan. And also another thing is that so usually there's no furniture in the apartment.
Okay, do you need to buy furniture by yourself?
Yes.
Wow, so you need to spend extra fee about that. I believe in Japan in Tokyo it's quite difficult.
Yeah, so not only you have to buy the furniture in Japan, if you are going to leave the Japan, so all this furniture have to throw out, right?
Yes.
And you have to pay the extra money to throw out those big furniture.
Oh my God. I mean, do you have any club that you suggest like foreigners in Tokyo that you can purchase the second-hand furniture? Something like that.
Yes, there's so many there's several websites you can buy the second-hand
furniture.
Yeah, furniture. I think it's quite popular because if those furniture are not sold to the others, they have to pay very high fee just to dispose of it.
Okay.
Dispose it.
Got it. So did you use the website as well?
Yes, I'm a bit forget what's the name of the website, but if you find like if you type like Tokyo and secondhand in on the internet, I'm pretty sure you will find so many.
Okay, so guys, hear carefully. This is the tips that Edward just told you. You're not only spend a lot of fee finding your room, but also you need to buy furniture by yourself. So if you want to rent a room in Japan, trying to search on the website, trying to search the secondhand furniture in Japan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we can talk about another topic, like what is the most culture shock after you've been to Japan?
The culture shock. One thing is that so you have to adapt the path that Japanese people reply your message.
Okay, keep on.
So, for example, like sometimes you want to ask your friend just to hang out together, and there's no reply until like 2-3 days after, or sometimes a week after.
Is that no more? I mean,
yeah, quite normal.
Okay, they just don't want to reply the messenger.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean you're not friends, right?
No, I mean, I try to understand the reason behind why they reply the message quite slow.
Lately.
Yeah, but they have the several saying. For example, someone say he worried his friend will think he's quite free all the time, be able to reply the message like quickly. So sometimes they just trying to keep it for a little bit of time.
They don't want to pretend they're busy.
Yeah, and the second one is that so sometimes they read the message. I mean, they didn't click in, but they know what you are talking about, but they just don't know how to reply the message, so they just leave it there, and in the end they forgot about it.
Okay, this is their mindset. Okay.
Yes, I think it's the mindset. So one tip is that don't push hard if your friend, I mean, not if the person you try to contact to doesn't reply you in shortly.
Okay, it's very interesting to hear that. So in Japan, I know you're working in the French company, right? French company in
Yes.
Japan. Do you have any coworker who is also Japanese in that company in Japan?
Yes, yes.
So what is the secret? What is the tip to cooperate with Japanese? What's the thing you need to be careful?
So I have to say, when I was working in Japan, most of my colleagues are from a different country. I mean,
Yes.
they are European, not the Japanese. But I heard about the several story in if you want to work in Japan.
Yes.
So, for example, like in terms of meetings, so it's quite famous that Japan's style meeting is quite long, and usually you don't really get the conclusion during the meeting.
Okay, you're not discussion during the meeting.
I mean, not much discussion, but sometimes it's too much discussion.
It's Japanese style meeting.
Yeah, but so what I heard that, so if you want to get the conclusion in the meeting, what you have to do is before you join the meeting, you have to like contact the person individually and trying to get the agreement of the topic. And when you go to the meeting, so it was so quick.
Okay, so you're meaning if you want to have a meeting, you need to have a pre-meeting.
Yes,
sometime pre-meeting.
Yes.
So where do we host the pre-meeting?
I mean, like you just like talk to him like individually. I mean, it doesn't need to have the really official meeting, but just like trying to get the agreement or have the discussion before of the official meeting.
Okay, so I mean, in the Japanese style, it's more like during the meeting, everything has decided before already.
Yes, because during the meeting, I mean, like maybe most of the people know that Japanese people are quite polite, which means
very polite.
Yeah, which means they are not usual to say no to the people.
Yes.
Yeah, and also people are heard a lot of that. So Japanese people are not quite often to tell what they are thinking about. Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think this is the culture which make you have to use the different way to deal with the Japanese.
Okay. I think I know that as well. They seldom talking about what do they really think.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So is that also the same thing that you making friends with Japanese friends? Do you also facing the same difficulties?
Yeah, the same. So what made you feel good is that so if they don't want to talk to you, you don't feel hurt because they are not going to say no to you directly.
Okay.
But you will feel that they are not so happy about the situation and trying to escape from it, but you will not hear about no, just please go away, something like that.
Okay, so here's something we might to notice, which is while Japanese when they say yes, sometimes doesn't mean yes. They'll just refuse you very politely. So you need I think it's like read the air, right? Read the air in Japanese.
Yes, you have to know how to read the air in Japan. So you sometimes like it's quite interesting to see that. So there's always a lot of guy and trying to talk to the stranger girl on the street.
I mean,
and,
is that really often?
Yeah, quite often you can see. I mean, really often you can see.
I didn't see that in Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan it's seldom to see, but in Japan it's quite common. And
I assume they are quite conservative, you know.
I was surprised about that as well. I thought they will be shy and conservative about that, but actually they are have more courage than most of the Taiwanese in terms of that. Yeah. So I still remember one interesting scenery is that so there's the guy trying to talk to the stranger girl on the street. And how he started is that he's trying to look at the girl and trying to knock the head, trying to say hi. And the girl trying to avoid the eye contact, but just also knock her head as well, and just like two people are keep walking forward.
Oh my God!
Until
it's so hentai.
Yeah. I mean, the guys will give up until like for example, if the girl just get into the station or somehow something like that. So I was quite shocked at the time when I see it.
Okay, I also feel very shocked after hearing the story. So, something related to this kind of behavior. I know when you're taking the train, you need to be very careful, right? Otherwise, if someone say you touch the butts, do you know that in Japan?
Yes, I heard about that. So that's when I just arrived in Japan, and my Japanese colleague told me that. So when you are taking the metro,
Yes.
so the suggestion is to raise your hand to let the people
raise your...
I mean, if there's don't put your hand just on like to put your hand under. I mean, for example, like if you just keep your hand relaxed, your hand will be just like under, right?
Okay, so what you mean is you need that everyone knows that here's my hands, I touch nothing.
Yeah, so for example, like
if
you are in the metro and the situation is quite crowded, so you had better to lift your hand up and try to hold the stuff.
So it's like everyone in the train is raising their hands in Japan.
No, it's not like that. I mean, just like the recommendation from my colleague. And so my colleague told me that, so if there's the Japanese girl saying that, so you touch her body on the metro, so no matter how you're trying to explain it, you will just be taken by the police.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay. This is very important for us.
Yeah,
okay,
but also another important point is that, so after this suggestion, and my colleague also added one important point is, but still depends on how you looks like.
Okay, so Ed doesn't need to worry about that. I think probably girls were going to touch you.
Too much.
Okay. After you dormitory, how about the bank, and how do you the SIM card?
You mean the bank and the SIM card, the smartphone SIM card?
Yes, smartphone SIM card.
So if you're in terms of the step, you have to apply your smartphone first, and after to apply your bank account.
Okay, so I need to apply my smartphone, then go to apply my bank account.
Yeah, so I think there's the two way you can get your smartphone number. One is that, so you buy the how we call that 预付卡 prepaid card.
Okay.
So you can have the number, and you have the number means that, so you can apply for the bank account in Japan. And when you have that, so you can go back to apply for the smartphone number which you like to have. Or you can choose another smartphone company which is open to the foreign credit card to pay the bill. Otherwise, you will have the similar difficulty. Just what I had at the beginning is that, so when I went to the bank and they told me that I have to have the mobile phone number in Japan, and when I went to the mobile phone, he told me that I need to have the bank account in Japan.
Oh my God! So this is the dilemma. It's never end.
Yeah. So only way out is that, so just like I say, you buy the prepaid card, or you choose the mobile company who accept the foreign credit card, so you can pay by it.
So which one did you choose in that time?
I choose the mobile called Line Mobile.
Line Mobile. Okay.
Yeah, Line Mobile. So it can accept the foreign credit card, and after that I can get the bank account more easily.
Okay, nice to hear that. So I think we have discussed detailedly about how to survive in Japan. So I also want to ask you if you have a time machine, what kind of suggestion you are going to tell Ed? Like, hey, something you need to prepare, something you need to know before you deliver something before your departure to Japan.
I have to say, if you have the interest to know Japanese culture deeper, just like me, I will suggest myself to polish my Japanese ability as much as possible before I went to Japan. Because I have to say, in the past, in the 2 years, I spent almost a year to polish my Japanese level to be able to know more about the Japanese culture.
Yes.
So I feel that if I have the chance to, if my Japanese level is quite high, yeah, I think I will be able to enjoy and be able to know more about the Japanese culture when I was staying in Japan.
Okay. So what else? What kind of suggestion are you going to tell yourself?
Trying to get outdoor as much as possible.
I think it's because the beauty of the nature in Japan, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the open-minded. So, for example, like in Japan, so when you, I mean, not only in Japan, when you have the chance to stay abroad,
yes,
I think it's good to try the new thing as much as possible.
Yeah.
So you will enrich the experience, and also you will have many of the surprise, like, wow, is this different to what I imagined before? And those will become a good memory.
Did you need to rent a car in Japan?
Sometimes yes.
I mean, rent a car means like yearly, or did you rent a car yearly?
No. I have to say, like, the public transportation system in Japan is quite good. So you can visit so many places just through it without the car.
Okay. How about motorcycle?
Motorcycle, it's not quite often to see motorcycle in Japan. Usually they will drive the car or they will take the metro or bus, because if you want to stay in the central city, so
Yes.
which means that, so no, not the central city. Usually the office is in the center of the Tokyo, and if you get closer to the central, your apartment fee will get higher and your space will get smaller. So most of the people will choose to live like 1 hour distant by metro from the company, which means that
1 hour distance.
Yeah, I mean 1 hour. 1 hour is quite often. It's quite normal for Japanese people. So that's the reason why you heard that many Japanese people have to wake up so early and get back so late. So I still remember one of my colleagues. He lived around like 2 hours by metro from the company.
So he need to come to company for 2 hours and come back to his house for 2 hours.
Yes, every day. Every day.
Oh wow, that's hard to imagine.
So which means that, so if you want to use scooter to go somewhere, it will be so difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, but instead of the scooter, so it's more common to see like the auto bike.
Yes.
Yeah, because many Japanese women, after they get married, so they have many housework have to do, and also they have to take care of the baby or children. So if you have the
like
auto bike, yeah. So I have to say, like, most of the animation we see in many of the Japanese animation we see is true.
Oh, the stereotype is actually not stereotype. It's true.
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. Wow, we have heard a lot about Japan. So I mean, right now you're in Taiwan. I want to know that. What do you think? Do you think it's worthy to go to Japan and come back to Taiwan? Do you think it's helpful for your career path, and why and how?
I just came back from Japan roughly a year, so it's a little bit hard to say how it can help my career.
Yeah. Yes.
But what I want to say is that, so I'm pretty sure the experience to live in Japan enriched my experience and vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you totally change a new environment, you will start to recall and try and start to ask several questions to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also
self-reliance, self-reflection.
yes,
Self-reflection.
yes, and also you will have the chance to cultivate your new habit.
Yes. Yes.
And get rid of the old habit which you don't like.
Oh, wow. I can guarantee you that. I mean, for my personality is quite lazy, so I don't know if I go to Japan, I'll become more lazy. I will cultivate the habits about like sleeping all the day.
Yeah, I mean, it could be difficult to change, but I mean, if you totally change your environment, so you will have the higher chance to be able to stop your old habit and to cultivate a new habit. So it's the feeling is like, for example, like if your apartment just near the gym, so you will motivate yourself to go to a gym quite often.
This reminds me about during the alternative service, I was living in Taitung, which is pretty far from my house. So I got the same feeling like you cultivate the new habits, making the new friends. But at the same time, I feel lonely. Even though I'm still in Taiwan. I think the loneliness for you is much more deeper, right? Where we was in Japan.
Yeah, so I have to say it's quite important to find a group of friends to be able to hang out together. Otherwise, you will feel quite lonely there. Because I have to say, if you want to, the most difficult thing to live in Japan is how to blend into the Japanese society.
Okay. In the
So,
Japanese society, could you take for example, like?
I think the difficulty is that
I mean, like if you don't know how to.
some of the Japanese when they are not quite comfortable to hang out with you if you cannot speak Japanese fluently.
So are they going to ignore you? I mean, in the party?
It's not like ignore you. It's just like they are shy to talk to you because they worry about like their English ability is not good to have the communication, or you cannot understand what they are talking about.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
And also the way how the Japanese think about. I mean, what they are thinking about is quite different to the other country, even to the Taiwanese.
Could you elaborate about their mindset? I think this is something that people are going to ask very openly.
Do you have any kind of stereotype about the Japanese and you don't know why they behave like that?
I mean, like why they're so shy to talk with foreigners? Is it because they feel like it's a shame if I didn't know how to speak Japanese, English, or?
I have to say that this is the majority of the reason why they are shy to talk to foreigner. So usually there's a two type of the not a two type, but if so for example, like some of the Japanese people they have studied abroad, 1 year or 2 years, but after they came back to Japan for a period of time, and they were getting shy to speak in English to the foreigner as well.
Wow, even though they have studied abroad before.
Yes.
Okay.
But how to say it's difficult to fit in Japanese? I think it's the culture. I mean, the culture is still different, and the way you behave is still different. So unless you can behave like the Japanese people, so it will help you to be easier to join their event. Otherwise, you will be so many difficulty, and you will feel something during if you are going to hang out with the group of Japanese people. So this when I went to Japan, I met a group of Taiwanese people, and I told them I trying hard to break into Japanese society, and they kind of give me the advice that so you can keep trying, but you can see like most of us already give up.
Oh my God. I don't know whether it is a suggestion or it's a situation or not. But anyway, people who ever hear about the episodes, this is our suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, can try. I mean, you must try. You must try to do it. But if you try harder, you will find more and more
You
different.
feel more frustrated.
Yeah, you will get frustrated. So why they behave like that? So what they are thinking about?
I think
for
the
example,
mindset is quite different. I mean, for Taiwanese, if we know foreigners know how to speak English, we're trying to speak English with them as much as possible because we feel it's cool.
Maybe they have the same feeling as well, but it doesn't mean that they are willing to talk English to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because you're Taiwanese, do you feel like the identity as a Taiwanese will give you will add more points during meet Japanese? Do you feel like, wow, you're Taiwanese?
I have to say, one of the benefits that so many of the Japanese people, they know Taiwan quite well. I mean, most of them, they have been traveled to Taiwan before. So
Yes.
unless you have some starting point as the talking topic.
Yes.
And if they like Taiwan's, if they enjoyed the experience traveling in Taiwan, so they are more willing to tell about their story.
Okay.
So I think it's a good start. It's just the benefit of being a Taiwanese.
Good.
And also another thing is that when you stay in Japan, especially like Tokyo, because it's quite an international society. Yeah. So you will feel so many diversity inside, and you will be proud of being yourself. I mean, as the Taiwanese style.
Wow. I'm pretty happy to hear about that kind of sentence. Be what you are and be proud of being a Taiwanese.
Yes, I mean, what I want to say is that so what I feel during I stay in Japan is that I feel more freedom staying there because I don't have
freedom?
Yeah, I feel I have more freedom. And it is because of that. So in Taiwan, you are Taiwanese, you still have some of the like the friend you have to follow.
Yeah, the rules, the friends, the society, the expectation.
Yes. Also, like so if when you go to Japan and the people don't put this kind of expectation on you.
Yeah, because you're foreigners.
Yeah, so you can behave like so you can behave like what you want to be, and everything when the people feel weird, they just think about because you are foreigner. Maybe Taiwanese people like that.
Oh, okay. So this is the reason you feel more free. I think people are after hearing about your sentence, people are more willing to move to Japan. Okay, I think this is probably the last question for you. I mean, I know you have been a Rotaract, and right now both you and me are in a Rotaract club. Do you think the Rotaract experience will help you while you get this job, get the opportunity to move to Japan, and how does it help you?
If you are talking about the experience in Rotaract to get a chance to Japan, I have to say it's hard to point out which specific reason or benefit to let me get a chance of that. I have to say that so one of the like several benefits to be part of the Rotary is that so first you know how to behave in the like for example like big events, or like you know how to behave to talk to the management or the people who have the accomplishment in the society.
Yes. How to behave well, how to be polite.
Yes. And the second one is that so if you join this society, you will have the friend easily if you go abroad. For example, like I joined the Rotaract in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, and usually why I get the chances because that I was the Rotaract member in Taiwan, so they are more willing to welcome me to join the club.
Okay, because I know Rotary is an international organization, which is mean in almost every country you can always find friends there.
Yes, because you have the connection. I mean,
Yes,
like
yes.
you have the connection, so they are more willing to talk to you, to invite you to the events, or like I think it's a good start to if you want to know more about the Japanese people.
Okay, okay, really nice to hear that. What else? What else do you think that you have learned in the Rotaract, the organization, and helped you in your career path?
I think another important point is that the one of the characteristic in Rotaract is diversity. So
Diversity, yes.
yeah, so this group of people will bring you more idea and we will bring you more vision. So it helped me to adapt it to the life in Japan easily because I think in Japan is quite diverse as well, and I kind of get used to it when I was staying in Rotaract.
Okay, cool. So maybe I will make a conclusion. Like, I'm not going to strongly advertise that people should join our club. I mean, during in your 20s, your 30s, I think you should find an organization, right? You should participate in a club. I mean, an organization, trying to devote yourself because you can learn much more. Uh, you're not only learn something inside it. Well, that would be great. So, Edward, anything you want to add on? Anything you want to have? Want to talk with the other people?
I think one of the good reasons should join the Rotary is that so many people say that it's quite difficult to make the friends in your company or do the
Yes.
job. Yep.
After we graduate, yes.
Most of the people are staying in their comfort zone and the people surround us is quite similar. So just what I said, I think Rotary Club is the place that can bring you the new idea from the people and can have more diversity factor into your life. So I mean, you will feel that so your life will become more colorful if you and because of the you have more chance to get in touch in the different kind of events and different kind of the people and the people from the different job.
Okay. So, so about today's event, let's try to make a conclusion. So you have mentioned that Japanese is pretty critical if you want to survive in Japan, right? So if you want to working overseas, especially in Japan, you better master, sharpen, polish whatsoever your Japanese.
Or I want to add one point.
Okay.
So you have another option if you're not really good at Japanese is that so to live totally like the foreigner in Tokyo.
Okay, this is an upside way. So there are two sides you can choose. The first one, trying to fit in the society of Japanese. The other one, I don't give a chicken. I don't give the chicken. I just want to be myself. I want to be a totally foreigner in Japan.
Yeah, so you just like make the friend with the other foreigner and all speak in English. You will feel quite comfortable living there as well.
Wow, that's very good to hear that. Okay, we're I think this is the end of our episode today. It's almost an hour, so I would like to say thank you for Edward to give us the insight about how to live in Japan. Today we got a lot of useful information. So please stay tuned to our channel. We will having our more videos talking about the industry, talking about how to find a better job, talking about how to develop in your career path. So, Edward, we can say goodbye to our audience. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.